Good morning, everyone. Paul Ruppel here with Fox 29 News Now. Hope your Thursday is off to a good start. And you're looking live at the Benjamin Franklin Parkway in Philadelphia. Philadelphia Museum of Art in the background there. Let's get you a quick check of our weather conditions at the moment. Right now it's 60 degrees outside. The dew point is 45. Winds out of the north at 10 miles per hour. So a little bit cloud cover, but not a bad start to Thursday. Especially considering we do have a storm off the coast, coastal storm, two storms that merged together. And we're hoping that that passes soon to bring the sunshine back. Tonight we're getting dipped down to 52 with some showers in the area. Hopefully we'll have some clearing after that. We'll get you a full look at weather in a little bit. Of course, the average high for this time of year is 69. And we'll be around there today. We'll get you that full look at weather in a little bit. For now, let's get you started with some national news. Public opinion has shifted on impeachment, and a bare majority of voters now supports removing President Trump from office. But there are still some deep partisan divides. Fox's Doug Luzader has a story this morning from Washington, D.C.
Public opinion has shifted on impeachment, and a little bit of a majority, a bare majority of voters now support removing President Trump from office. A couple of new polls have come out in the last 48 hours.
Yes, but there are still some deep partisan divides, Doug.
Mm-hmm.
There are. What's got to be troubling for the White House is not just a specific poll, but the trend of recent polls showing growing support for impeachment. The president, meantime, is railing against the process.
It's the most unfair situation people have seen.
The president may think the impeachment inquiry is unfair, but many voters disagree. A new Fox News poll shows that 51% of voters now favor impeachment and removal from office. That is a significant change from July's 42%. And that came just as the White House announced that there would be no cooperation with Congress unless there's an actual House vote to launch impeachment. If there was, the president suggested he would reconsider.
We would if they give us our rights. It depends. If they vote and say you can't have lawyers, you can't ask questions, you can't have anybody present, all of these crazy things. And even some of the reporters said to me it really is an unfair situation.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, though, has said a House vote is unnecessary. And out on the campaign trail, former Vice President Joe Biden became the latest Democratic candidate to endorse impeachment.
To preserve our Constitution, our democracy, our basic integrity, he should be impeached.
And diving deeper into those Fox News poll numbers, the partisan breakdown is largely as expected. 85% of Democrats support impeachment. But next down, just 39% of independents are on board.
You do have a group of voters right now who are sitting there thinking, I don't really know that I like what happened with the Ukraine call. I don't really like what the president is doing necessarily in his job as president, but I don't know if this is the right answer for that. That's what is going to be critical to watch in these next few weeks.
Okay, the president of Ukraine, meantime, this morning reiterated his belief that there was no blackmail as part of the call between him and President Trump. That's really become the central focus of this investigation. The president, meantime, has a big political rally tonight in Minnesota. Back to you guys.
Okay. All right, Doug, see you tomorrow.
So whenever the president travels, there is a chance that we will get some sound from him on the White House lawn, and he'll have something new to react to. This report has just crossed. I believe this may have been first reported by the Wall Street Journal. Two Florida businessmen tied to former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani have been arrested on campaign finance violations over a donation to a PAC supporting President Trump. So new information just in. What I read you there is a bulletin that just crossed from the Associated Press. Again, two Florida businessmen tied to former New York City Mayor Giuliani, who is now Rudy Giuliani, who is now an attorney for President Trump, have been arrested on a campaign finance violations over donations to a PAC supporting President Trump. So we'll get you more on that story when it comes in. I'm going to take a quick look to see if there is anything more available at this moment. Not at the moment, but I will keep my eyes peeled for that and bring you the latest. As you look at the White House here in Washington, D.C. All right, let's get you a quick look at business. Traveling with your pets is about to get easier. Uber Pet is launching, which means your pets will be allowed to ride along. Here is Fox Business Network's Tracy Carrasco joining us this morning to talk more about that.
We have Uber for food, and now we have what?
Uber for pets, Tracy?
Yes. So you will now be able to book an Uber with a driver who's already opted into allowing you to bring your non-service animal with you on the ride. So your dog, your cat, you'll be able to take the animal into your Uber, which as it is right now, if you get an Uber and you don't tell them that you have an animal, sometimes they might cancel when they arrive, or you have to call them ahead of time, make sure it's okay, which is totally understandable. Some drivers might not want a dog in their car, I get it, but now Uber is offering this service. The driver knows that someone with an animal is getting into the vehicle. Everything is set up ahead of time. There is going to be an extra $3 to $5 charge depending on what city you're in, but you're going to know that ahead of time. And they're testing this out starting on October 16th in a number of cities. Philly is one of them, including Austin, Denver, Nashville, Minneapolis, Phoenix, and Tampa Bay. So I think it's a great idea as a dog owner, as someone who's had to take my dog in an Uber and a taxi. It's much easier when everything is kind of set up ahead of time.
Right.
I can imagine.
Trying to
Yeah.
beg to get into the car.
I know you mentioned that the drivers opt in. As someone who does not have a pet and who's not a pet owner, does that mean if you are a car that says, okay, I'm okay with pets, does that mean you'll only take rides with pets? Because what if someone has an allergy and the previous ride before you there's dog hair everywhere or something? Wouldn't that affect them?
I think it would be up to the driver to make sure that the vehicle is clean, that everything is okay before and after the animals get in and out.
Well,
I think it would be up to them.
That's going to be interesting.
So,
I've gotten into some interesting looking Ubers and it wasn't involving pets. So I don't know if
too.
they'd clean it after every ride with a pet, but you never know. We can only hope.
Well, maybe part of the app will say you just ordered a car that is pet friendly, and you could blow it off.
Yeah,
you know
that might have to be it.
Because when I've transported dogs, I would just, like you do, Tracy, call the driver, says, it's going to tell you, I got a dog with me. Is that okay?
Yeah.
You still coming? Yeah, it's fine. And you don't have to pay any extra.
Look at you.
Yeah.
But that was before. Now that they know they're going to get paid extra, they're going to want to get paid
I
extra.
want that $5. Yeah.
I would too.
All right, Tracy, see you tomorrow.
Thank you to Tracy for that report. Here is a quick look at the stock market. If you look very closely, you'll see that that red sliver on the left indicates the market initially opened down, but has since climbed to up 142 points. Dow Jones Industrial Average is 26,488. So there is your quick look at the markets. Let's get you a look at your weather. There are those cloudy skies I was mentioning outside our studios at 4th and Market Streets. A little bit of blue sky in the distance, but cloud skies over our area at the moment. Again, we're at 60 degrees right now. The dew point is 45, and winds out of the north still at 10 miles per hour. Let's get you a look at ultimate Doppler radar over the last couple of hours. There's that coastal storm bringing rain to, looks like Cape Cod and Rhode Island and Long Island. But not quite reaching back to our area. Maybe a little bit there in Delaware this morning, some sprinkles. Your current temperatures, mix of 60s and 50s across the area, all pretty close together. Not much of a range there, maybe 8 degrees between the 54 in Mount Pocono and 62 in Lancaster. It's all kind of in the same boat there. There you see that storm, the swirling winds off the shore there, keeping Boston cooler at 55, Hartford 54. We're in the 60s down here in Newark, Philly, and Baltimore, but cooler in Williamsport, just 47. The heat holding on in the southeast, still 80s all along the Gulf Coast right now. But there you see the cool temperatures over the Rockies, where they've had some snowfall. Cool spot 19 in Billings, Montana. 61 in San Francisco, but only 38 up in Portland. So full range of colors there. You got from 19 up in the northern plains and Rockies to 84 down in New Orleans right now. Our temperature change, we're a few ticks warmer than we were at this time in most places. Same time yesterday. 4 degrees warmer in Philly, although 3 degrees cooler in Cape May and Dover, Delaware. Your wind speeds, as we mentioned, 10 in Philly, a few ticks above in some places, a few ticks below elsewhere, 15 miles per hour in Wrightstown and Dover. And we're getting some wind gusts down the shore, 17 miles per hour in Wildwood, 18 in Georgetown, Delaware. Visibility good despite all the cloud cover, 10 miles all around. And there you see some of that cloud cover on our satellite view. Let's get you a look at your 7-day forecast from the Fox 29 Weather Authority. Clouds and a shower, 70 today. Going to be a 7 on our forecast by the numbers. Friday, shower chance 64. Overnight low is in the 50s right now, so nice comfortable sleeping weather. Saturday, partly sunny, breezy, 70 degrees. Looks like a 8 on our forecast by numbers. Good for a Temple home game there. Sunday, sunny and nice, 68. Sunny and milder on 73 for Columbus Day on Monday. Tuesday, sunny and nice, 71. And Wednesday comes a shower chance, 67. So we're going to be pretty close range here as far as our temperature over the next couple days. No warmer than 73. Our lowest high is 64 tomorrow. Couple shower chances Friday and Wednesday. As always, get your forecast anywhere you are on the go. Get the Fox 29 Weather Authority app. You can get hourly conditions, a look at our full forecast. You can watch the video of Sue Serio giving you the morning forecast right now. And get severe weather alerts like those coastal flood warnings, watches that are some concerns about coastal flooding, I should say, at the shore right now with that storm off the coast. Let's get you two pieces of news that are crossing right now. One is leaders of Britain and Ireland say they can see a, quote, a pathway to a possible deal, end quote, on Brexit. Talks continue. So I believe that's the talks just between Britain and Ireland. That may not be with the entire EU, but that is the wire alert that just crossed moments ago. Let me see if I can get you some more on the Giuliani news that we mentioned earlier. No more available on that just yet. We'll circle back to that later. In the meantime, let's get you some local news. And we'll start with our Sabina Kyriakos. Actually, we'll start with Steve Keeley. Opening statements begin today in the Michael White trial. White is the college student accused of stabbing to death real estate developer Sean Schellinger last summer in Rittenhouse Square. As I mentioned, Steve Keeley was live in Center City this morning outside the courthouse, and he filed this report earlier this morning.
Well, those following this case know the real big news this week on this case came out before the trial on Monday, and that is when the judge in this case agreed with the district attorney, who filed a motion with the judge to reduce the third-degree murder charge before it even got to the jury, writing, quote, the most likely way to secure a just conviction for this killing is to proceed to trial with a lead charge of voluntary manslaughter. So what does all that mean in legalese? Well, it means a lot less potential time in prison should Michael White get convicted of the most serious charge. Now, this came after the DA had previously first reduced the original charge, which was first-degree murder, no bail, and potential life sentence, down to the third-degree charge, and that would have gave him a potential 20 to 40-year sentence. Now the maximum charge and sentence of voluntary manslaughter is only up to 20 years. And that again left the victim's mother, who protested outside the DA's office on Tuesday, with a lot more hurt and anger, and left this jury, Alex and Mike, with a lot less tough decision to make when they reach their verdict.
Thank you to Steve for that report. And I mentioned we also had our Sabina Kyriakos on the air this morning. She was covering another story. Drexel University student has been sexually assaulted, reported being sexually assaulted just blocks away from campus. Now campus police are warning other students to be on alert as they search for a suspect. Our Sabina had this report this morning.
Drexel University sent out a public safety alert soon after they got the report of this rape, and students tell us that they were actually getting that text message while some of them were in that neighborhood just a block away from university property, a lot of off-campus housing. It's an easy walk to and from class, so you can imagine students very shaken up. It was 12:50 in the afternoon, midday. A Drexel student called police to say she had been raped by a man wearing all black inside her off-campus apartment along the 3200 block of Winter Street. Police have not said how the man got into the house or anything regarding the moments before or after the attack. However, they are warning all students to make sure to keep their doors locked, including their car doors. Now, students we spoke with say they feel like it could have been them, and they are thinking of the victim this morning.
This is our first year living here. We moved in like September. But yeah, it's exceedingly unnerving to know that, someone who we go to school with just had this happen to them in the middle of the day. I think that I just wish that someone was there for her that could have, had her back in that moment. Obviously, she was in dire need.
And police have not released much information on this investigation. We do know that crime scene investigators were back at the scene late last night, looking for evidence and taking photographs. We have a vague description of the suspect. We're told he's about 5'5", no facial hair. He was wearing all black from head to toe down to his sneakers. And significantly, he had a smartphone inside of a red cell phone case. The Special Victims Unit, along with Drexel police, are investigating. If you know anything, if you're in that area during the time when this happened and noticed anything suspicious, please call authorities. We are on Drexel University's campus. Sabina Kyriakos, Fox 29 News. Back to you.
Thank you, Sabina. Obviously, Drexel police are searching for a suspect there, and we'll bring you any updates as they come in. Going back to the breaking news we mentioned earlier. The headline here, 2 Florida businessmen tied to President Donald Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, have been arrested on campaign finance violations resulting from a $325,000 donation to a political action committee supporting Trump's re-election. The Associated Press reports it this way. 2 Florida businessmen tied to President Donald Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, have been arrested on campaign finance violations resulting from a $325,000 donation to a political action committee supporting Trump's re-election. Lev Parnas and Igor Fruman were arrested on a 4-count indictment that includes charges of conspiracy, making false statements to the Federal Election Commission, and falsification of records. Records show they used wire transfers from a corporate entity they controlled to make a $325,000 donation to the America First Action Committee in 2018. Records that became public through a lawsuit show that the corporate entity reported as making the transaction was not the true source of the money. A lawyer for the men, John Dowd, hung up on an Associated Press reporter calling about the case. So that is the latest on the Democratic impeachment inquiry in the House of Representatives. Something happening outside that inquiry. The news coming from the courts. And we'll keep you posted if we learn anything new or different about that case. We wanted to get you that update since we mentioned it earlier this morning after the report from Doug Luzader in Washington. I can tell you the president was tweeting before that news emerged that they have a big day of negotiations with China. They want to make a deal, but do I? I meet with the vice premier tomorrow at the White House. The president also asking, why isn't the IG, the Inspector General, investigating his so-called whistleblower, all bad info? He also reiterated something the president of Ukraine said this morning. Stated again, quote, according to our president's tweet here, quote, in the strongest of language, that President Trump applied no pressure and did absolutely nothing wrong. He used the strongest language possible. That should end this Democrat scam, but it won't because the Dems and media are fixed, end quote. The president also said that Turkey has been planning to attack the Kurds for a long time. They've been fighting forever. We have no soldiers or military anywhere near the attack area. I'm trying to end the endless wars, talking to both sides. Some want us to send tens of thousands of soldiers to the area and start a new war all over again. Turkey is a member of NATO. Others say stay out, let the Kurds fight their own battles, even with our financial help. I say hit Turkey very hard financially and with sanctions if they don't play by the rules. I am watching closely. So there you have some of the president's Twitter activity this morning. All right, let's get you to some other local news this morning that we've been following. A man is lucky to be alive this morning after a shooting in North Philadelphia. It happened at the intersection of 9th Street and Tioga at around 10:30 last night. Officers say at least 7 shots were fired. A 24-year-old man was shot once in the back. He was taken to Temple Hospital where he is listed in stable condition. A man is in critical condition after being struck by a hit-and-run driver on Roosevelt Boulevard. Sky Fox was over the scene in Oxford's Circle section of the city. Police say a man was crossing the street when someone hit him around 9 last night. Detectives are now looking for a black and silver pickup truck. The victim remains in critical condition this morning. In Mercer County, New Jersey, police are looking for a man behind an attempted sexual assault in Lawrence Township. This is a sketch of the suspect. Police say on Tuesday night around 11:30 p.m., that is, the man tackled a woman on the 200 block of Baker's Basin, then dragged her into a wooded area and tried to assault her. Luckily, she was able to fight back and get away. Call police if you think you recognize this man. In Chester County, Pennsylvania, a Westchester University student is charged with selling drugs from a campus dorm. Police got a tip about underage drinking at a party inside Brandywine Hall. That's where officers found 19-year-old Zachary Given and a stack of flyers advertising weed inside his dorm. According to the affidavit, the flyer said, "If you need edibles or carts, hit up your neighbor Zach," and gave his room number and Snapchat handle.
It is very bold, considering, you're risking a lot going to college and stuff.
It was disappointing that it was in a university hall. We are happy, though, that we got a tip, and the tip led us and led our public safety to a room.
Officers also found a BB gun, THC vape cartridges, pot-infused cookies, and brownies. Given was charged with 8 crimes, including felony intent to deliver. From Delaware County, a video shows Chester Township police arresting members of a family for allegedly loitering in front of their home. That family says they were brutalized by Chester Township officers. Attorneys for the Briggs family say the incident happened last Wednesday on October 2nd. In the video of the arrest, you can see officers putting several people in handcuffs and even pulling a young man from a porch onto the ground. In the arrest affidavit, a police officer writes when he told the group they were loitering, he was met with swears, resistance, and a young man kicking at a police cruiser window.
The Chester Township Police Department has failed my family. Instead of protecting us and serving us, they decided to attack us on multiple occasions.
That was Rachel Briggs, a member of the family there, who, with their lawyers, were presenting that video. Fox 29 has learned a special investigations unit in the county district attorney's office will now review whether police crossed the line in the arrests. The family is considering a civil claim against Chester Township. After spending 27 years in prison for a murder he did not commit, a 54-year-old is waking up a free man. It was an emotional moment for Willie Veazey and his family. He was convicted in the shooting death of John Lewis in North Philadelphia back in 1992. But he always maintained his innocence. It wasn't until the Pennsylvania Innocence Project got involved and additional evidence came out to show his confession was coerced. Yesterday morning, a judge overturned his conviction. His family never gave up hope.
How does it feel?
It feels wonderful, grateful. I get to spend the rest of my life with my family the way it always been. Yes, I get to walk out of here the same way I walked in, as an innocent man.
It's been a long time, but it feels great.
Yes. Yep, don't worry about it. It's all over now.
Yeah.
We conquered the storm.
Veazey's family is planning a celebration for him later tonight. Meanwhile, the DA's office is investigating whether detectives used improper techniques in this case and others to get suspects to confess to murders they did not commit. Police need your help tracking down a man caught breaking into a home in East Germantown. A woman said she was sitting out inside her home when she saw him inappropriately touching himself outside on the 1300 block of East Johnson Street. When she went upstairs to call police, she says he climbed through her window but escaped once police arrived. A similar incident was reported a couple days later on the same block and another on the 1200 block of East Washington Lane. Police believe they are related. And the search continues this morning for the man in this video who fired at least 6 shots from a semi-automatic handgun into a car. It happened last Friday on the 7400 block of Woolston Avenue in Philadelphia's West Oak Lane neighborhood. Someone in the car was hit. They were taken to the hospital and are now reported to be in stable condition. Therapy through your phone? Several apps claim to help improve your mental health, but do they really work? Here is our conversation about this from Good Day Philadelphia this morning.
Millennials and Gen Zers say they have quit their jobs because their mental health was suffering.
How about that? According to a new survey, 50%, half of millennials and 75% of Gen Zers have done just that. Millennials are also 3 times more likely, and Gen Zers, 4 times more likely to experience anxiety and depression at work compared to baby boomers. So if you don't want to see a counselor, or if you can't afford to see a psychotherapist, there are actual therapy apps on your phone that can help you. That's what the app people say. Here with some answers for this, in his opinion, licensed marriage and family therapist, Dr. George James. Dr. James, thanks for coming back and seeing us
Thank you.
again.
Yes, thank you for coming in. So on the one hand, you would think maybe these apps are a good thing because not everyone may be able to afford a therapist, or if they need constant access to something, they would be able to have that.
And that actually is one of the good things, right? The accessibility, where there's some places in the country or in the world where you can't actually find a therapist or go to see someone. And so these apps help you to do that. And a lot of them might be free or low cost.
Well, I think the first one there is free, and it's called Wobot. We found this video from the app Wobot. Well, there it is. So again, you looked at Wobot.
I did.
What's their claim to fame?
So I think what they do is that they have psychologists from Stanford behind them, and that they put in this algorithm where you click in and say whatever's going on with you, and there's a response. And there's an instant gratification, whereas you put something in, there's another response, and it happens over and over.
Okay, let's go to the next one. What's the next one called?
Youper.
Youper.
And so this is video from them that we're about to show.
It's a free one too. Now, what's the difference with Youper then?
So what I liked about Youper versus, say, Wobot is that early on you can actually put in your own words versus it feeling like you're just clicking what the script says.
Oh, so instead of it giving you options, you're telling it.
Yeah,
they both. Yourself.
It gives you the options, but then you can also add your own.
I like that, a little more specific then about what you're dealing with.
And do you have immediate responses with Youper as well?
Yes, immediate responses, and both of them will actually give you a selection of things that you can click through to say, are you anxious or overwhelmed or stressed? And then you have to figure out which one is you. So they both do that.
Now, are they all algorithms, or are we supposed to believe that there's a therapist or someone on the other end typing out responses?
So that's the part as a therapist that I didn't like, where it is an algorithm, right? So I just fooled around with one of them and just put in like random words, and it didn't really respond to the random words.
Well, you have the opportunity to get some screen time with a real human therapist on this WYSA. I don't know if they call it WYSA. Here's a video from them. So I like that aspect, that you eventually can hook up with a real person.
So right on the screen, they had this thing that said coach, and so that you could click to talk to a coach, and their what they're pushing or saying is that it's more affordable than even seeing a therapist. So 90 days of their coach is less than seeing a therapist.
Okay.
But we don't always know, like, what are the backgrounds or qualifications of the coach.
And are you able to at least get that information
You
if
probably
you wanted
can,
it?
because they
Okay.
said meet
It's
the
on
coach
there.
and so forth.
Okay. Now, Replica.
Here's some video from Replica. What's their thing?
So very similar. What they do is that you can create your replica through these eggs and so forth, and they're going to ask you different questions.
Okay.
It also still feels like a script. So the good side is that if you need something, if you need a response right away, you can get that.
Okay.
And sometimes that activity of just saying what's going on with you can feel good.
To me, it seems like a starting point, but I really think after I realize I'm going to need some help, I want to see a real person. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's part
it
of
seems
my
like
belief.
WebMD to me for some reason. I'm just, you know.
It's WebMD with a response, right? So
Okay.
WebMD, you kind of click in and it tells you what it is. But this, it almost feels like somebody's texting you, and you can feel like, all right, I have a response. But the difference is, I believe, you don't necessarily get that relatability that you have with the face-to-face or human connection. So in therapy, I make mistakes.
That's the thing. There's going to be misunderstandings between you and an app.
Right.
But at the same time, we just talked about millennials and Gen Zers, who a lot of them are more comfortable texting than having actual conversations
Yeah.
in person. So probably it just depends on your preference. Some people, it's easier for them to communicate through texting instead of a face-to-face and having to talk about your problems with someone looking at
Yeah,
you.
and maybe that's causing the anxiety, depression at a job. Oh my God, I got to talk to real people.
Mm-hmm.
It's also the difference. I think baby boomers were told that they had to kind of hold it in and
Suck it
millennials
up
weren't.
and go back to work even though you hate your coworkers. Of course, I don't know if you will like apps because it's taking business away from you.
Well, more therapists have moved online too, so there's
Okay.
this hybrid option where you could do online, but I think it's more of a combination service versus
I agree.
one or the other.
A starting
Okay.
point.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, we got to take a break.
All right, we are waiting for some. We'll bring you some news here. Trying to make sure this is confirmed. We'll have to circle back to this just after, I think. We'll get you to this news in a little bit. In the meantime, once we have this confirmed and we're ready to share it with you, in the meantime, historic Old City streets will come alive this weekend. We're getting a preview of Old City Festival. Here is that segment from Good Day Philadelphia this morning.
Well, we're having a town takeover, and plus we're going all around town. We're talking about Alex around town, that is, because this Sunday, you won't want to miss this. You're going to want to be in Old City. I'm here with Joe. You're like the man of Old City. Is it okay if I call you that?
I'll defer to you on that one.
Okay. So, our Old City Fest, it is such a big deal. Thousands of people come every year.
Yeah, we get about 20,000 people. This year's Old City Fest is this Sunday at the corner of 3rd and Arch, 1 block in each direction, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay, and so when you come, as we're going all around and showing all the people here, it really is a nice mix of food and fun.
Yeah, the thing that makes Old City Fest unique is that it's really a taste of everything Old City has to offer, from food, music, art, fashion, and events for families as well.
Okay, so we're going to have the jazz band. They're going to be playing a little bit as we go through, because let's give people a preview of what kind of things they're going to see.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, because it's from all day, 11 a.m.
11 a.m. to 6 p.m. this Sunday, 3rd and Arch.
Okay, so let's take a look. Let's start with the food, because you guys know I love to eat. So first, we're going to start with Makani. Hello.
Hello.
Where are you guys located?
So we're located on 7 North 3rd Street, right off of Market. And this Sunday we'll have butter chicken, vegetable biryani, vegetable samosa, and our special tandoori chicken wings.
Basically all the favorites and all the good stuff.
Absolutely.
I love butter chicken.
Thank
It's
you.
So good. And chicken tikka masala, too. So very nice. You've got your Indian food here. And then we're going to go to Amada, another staple here in Old City. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
What did you bring for us?
So for Old City Festival, we'll be serving paella croquettes.
Oh, so paella, the traditional dish, of course, the Spanish dish, it's a staple. But you guys have made it bite so you can walk and eat it.
Exactly. Nice and easy.
It is nice and easy. Thank you so much. Okay, Mike, let's talk fashion.
We also have fashion. All right, give me your name.
I'm Erin from Barnett Fair.
And where's Barnett Fair?
It's 139 North 3rd Street.
And what is your claim to fame at that place?
It's just good hair.
Just good? Okay. Do you want to introduce your mom? Oh, you can do it.
I'm Melina.
Hi, Melina.
I'm Josie.
Okay. You?
I'm Jess. Jade. Barry.
Wow, you have all different styles and colors of hair. So what are you going to be doing Sunday?
So the style exhibit is from 11 to 6, and the fashion show is at 1:30. But there'll be an interactive photo shoot all day long, and we're gonna have a photo booth set up in the tent.
Perfect. Alex?
You want to see some magic, Mike? Magic Mike,
Sure.
not you. We're gonna stick it to them. We don't need magic Mike. Get out of here. So I'm here with Lindsay Noel and Francis Minotti, and you guys are gonna be doing magic tricks.
We are. Yeah, we are.
In fact, for this chilly October morning, we brought some cards with some fall drinks on them.
Okay.
We'd love you to pick one for us.
All right, pick one. Anyone?
Yeah, just go ahead and reach and grab one. Yep.
All righty.
Lindsay's going to read your mind.
She's gonna read my. Oh, I'll just grab this one then.
All right,
Okay.
look at that.
All right, so I'm gonna show it to the camera so they can see. Okay.
Think about it and blow a bubble for me.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh no, it popped.
It's okay. I got it. I think a little bit of maple, some tea. Is it a maple chai latte? Is that
That's
what
exactly it. Look at that. Very cool. Oh, Old City Fest. There we go. There's the reveal. Okay. That is so cool.
Okay.
Beat that, Mike.
Let's throw a pot. What do you say? I'll throw the pot right at you. No, actually. What's your name, ma'am?
Josie from the Clay Studio at 2nd and Race Street.
Clay Studio's been around for a long time.
1974.
So are you going to be throwing pots?
Yes, we have this new pedal-powered pottery wheel, so people can come try it out. It can either pedal or work on the wheel themselves.
So the bicycle pedaling is actually spinning.
Yeah.
What do they call that thing?
The pottery wheel.
The pottery wheel.
Yeah, so usually
Okay.
there's an electric motor, but now we've made it people-powered.
That's really cool. Okay, quick scene out of Ghost. There you go, Alex.
Okay, I just want to mention we have the Nick Salcido Trio doing the jazz here for us, setting the mood. But we have 2 more restaurants we also want to get in. Sassafras, I go to this spot a lot of times. And I love your lavender champagne. I just want to put that out there because I love lavender. So I'm going to come over here. What are you guys going to be having at Old City Fest?
So for drinks, we have a Sailor's Punch, but it's a little bit of a twist. We're using bourbon instead of rum. And for food, we have...
A Bavarian-style pretzel rod with everything and lots of butter. And then we have a pumpkin beer mustard.
Ooh, I like that twist on it. Very nice. And it's easy to walk around with.
It is easy to walk around with.
Go ahead, Mike.
What's your name?
Hi, my name is Aaron. I'm from Cuba Libre Restaurant.
I've heard of Cuba Libre.
Have you?
Yes.
Spent quite a time there, yeah.
Believe it or not, we've been around almost 20 years now.
I know it.
Yes. So what we have here is our Cuban-style burgers, our Ita Frita. This is going to be our classic mojito with lime and grappa and herbal bueno mint.
Alex has had a few of those.
Yes,
Yeah,
you guys have great mojitos.
Yeah, so we have a beautiful collection here, and like I said, celebrate our anniversary in 19
Congrats
years.
on the anniversary.
Thank you.
Come out to the festival again. It's Sunday, right, Alex?
It is this Sunday. It's going to be all day. Make sure you're here Sunday in Old City. That's Alex Around Town. We're going to take a break.
All right, let's get you to that breaking news I mentioned. It was coming in. We were working to confirm. Phillies have announced that skipper Gabe Kapler has been dismissed. We've been waiting to hear more about this, if this would happen or not. I believe this was first reported by NBC Sportsnet. It's Jim Salisbury. You're looking at some file footage of the Phillies manager. should say Jim Salisbury of NBC Sports Philadelphia. Phillies have just tweeted. Let's take you live to our on-air where we're announcing this right now.
Kapler is out, or as the Phillies put it, he's been relieved of his duties. Kapler was first hired in October of 2017 to take over as manager starting in the 2018 season. His record over 2 seasons was 161 wins and 163 losses with no trips to the playoffs. In fact, he even had 1 season left on his contract, and we now know that will not happen. In addition to Kapler, the Phillies say pitching coach Chris Young will also not return to his position for the 2020 season, and Charlie Manuel will return to his role as senior advisor to the manager, and the rest of the coaching staff will be back for the 2020 season. So this is something we'll certainly stay on top of. Well, there have also been reports that owner John Middleton have been making trips with some of the Phillies players, asking them their thoughts on this. So it's likely that you can believe that they were heavily involved in this decision. We're going to make sure to get more details, and we'll bring you more on Fox 29 News at 5, 6, and also Fox 29 News at 10. So we'll get you back to Wendy.
You have been watching a Fox 29 special report. We now return you to regular programming.
He had best sleep with a cold medicine.
The classroom, teachers and students.
There you have the latest news from our newsroom. I'm working to get you some full screens of the Philly statements here. The first comes to us from managing partner John Middleton, and you can see it on the screen here. It says, several years ago, I promised our loyal fans that I would do everything in my power to bring a world championship team to our city. I will never waver from that commitment. During the second half of the season and continuing into this week, I've evaluated our organization extensively, a process that included talking to many people, both internally and around the league. Reassuring to me was the endorsement that people outside the Phillies gave to the progress we have made recently, both organizationally and on the field. Nevertheless, with the knowledge that I've gained from my evaluation combined with my personal reflection on the 2019 season, I have decided that some changes are necessary to achieve our ultimate objective. Consequently, we will replace our manager. I am indebted to Gabe for the steadfast effort, energy, and enthusiasm that he brought to our club, and we are unquestionably a better team and organization as a result of his contributions. With Matt, assuming he's meaning General Manager Matt Klentak there, with Matt leading our search for our next manager, I am confident that we will find the right person to lead us. That again is the statement from managing partner John Middleton. There are more statements here. Let me see if I can pull this up for you full screen. Again, the news. Phillies manager Gabe Kapler is out. Dismissed by the team. We just brought you that news on air at Fox 29. Here is the statement that I mentioned from Matt Klentak, the Phillies general manager. On behalf of everyone in the baseball operations department, I want to thank Cap for his tireless commitment to the Phillies over the last 2 years. When we hired Cap, it was our goal to develop a positive, forward-thinking, and collaborative culture throughout the organization that would allow us to compete with the best teams in the league year in and year out. While we have fallen short in the win column for the last 2 years, I can confidently say that Cap's efforts have established a strong and sustainable foundation for this organization moving forward. In the coming weeks, John, Andy, and I will work diligently with others in our baseball operations department to find the right individual to build upon the existing foundation and bring a championship home to Philadelphia. As you heard our Alex Holly say, Phillies did finish with a winning record this year, or even this year, very close. And in fact, Kapler's record is just 2 games off of even. I think she said 161 to 163. The Inquirer was reporting this week that Kapler was still showing for work, going to Citizens Bank Park, and still trying to contribute to the team despite his impending departure. Which may not have been decided until more recently, but what wound up eventually being his departure. Let me get you the last statement here, which is from the dismissed skipper himself. Also tweeted by the team. And here is the aforementioned statement. From Gabe Kapler. It says, I'm grateful to John, the Buck family, Andy, Matt, and the entire Phillies organization for giving me the opportunity to lead this team for the last 2 years. I have tremendous respect for this organization, this franchise, and this city. We came into 2019 with very high hopes. We fell short of those, and that responsibility lies with me. The next Phillies manager will inherit a team of talented, dedicated, and committed players. There has been nothing more fulfilling in my professional career than the opportunity to work with the players on this team. I will forever value the relationships I developed with them. As I move on, I know that this organization is in a great spot and will see a lot of success going forward. My hope is that I helped contribute to a developing culture in the organization that flourishes in the years to come. I've come to care for this franchise and have the best wishes for this group in the future. The passion and devotion of the Phillies fan base both inspired and humbled me daily. It was an honor to grow, develop, and learn with this team. I'm looking forward to what the future brings and know I'm a better leader and person for having had this opportunity. The Phillies did post also a photo of the manager saying, thank you, Gabe Kapler. Of course, his departure comes 2 weeks after the disappointing finish for the Phillies, who had playoff hopes and aspirations after the acquisition of big-name free agents, including Bryce Harper from the Washington Nationals. So again, that's the breaking news at this hour. Phillies manager Gabe Kapler relieved of duties. We have more on our website, fox29.com. We'll keep you posted on our social channels also, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And download the Fox 29 News app to get the latest, get breaking news alert notifications as soon as they come into our newsroom. That's going to do it for Fox 29 News Now. It's 11 a.m. on Thursday. We'll be back with you again tomorrow after Good Day. Have a great rest of your Thursday, and we'll see you back here on Friday morning. Thanks for joining us.